Gauteng Premier David Makhura will this morning commemorate the Boipatong Massacre. The Sedibeng district mayor will also join survivors of the massacre in remembering this fateful day. Let's take you to Newzroom Afrika's Mohlaoli, who's watching this. He joins us now live. And Tumaole, perhaps as a start, it's worth revisiting the history pages. Remind us what took place in Boipatong and what makes today's commemorations so important.
Well, according to the history of the day, and what happened is that allegedly IFP members went into the township of Boipatong and began opening fire indiscriminately, killing several residents, and this was what is being observed today. We know that from the history books and from the events of the day that massacre was geared at disrupting the CODESA talks, and this was the talks that were on the eve of the first democratic election in 1994. So over 20 years ago that this massacre happened, and of course the Inkatha Freedom Party at the time squarely took the blame, and this is one of those events that was also geared at destabilizing those talks. We know that, of course, the Bisho massacre also took place around that time, and you see that these particular incidents were driven by the so-called third force, which was the remnants of the apartheid government, which was falling at the time, trying to ensure that they destabilized those talks which led into the transition into democracy. So those particular people who lost their lives will be remembered today. Of course, on the program, there will be also survivors of the massacre, people who witnessed it and have the wounds to show what happened on the day, as well as the relatives of those who passed on. Premier David Makhura, as well as the local district mayor, Councillor Maluka, will be laying wreaths at the memorial site, which is not far from where I am this morning, and they will then also be speaking about Boipatong's significance in the journey towards the democratic South Africa.
This incident is remembered in some instances as the darkest time of our history, and I guess with that in mind, get us a sense of what the rest of the day's events are looking like.
Well, the rest of the day's events will be something quite positive because the Premier will then be speaking to the local youths in the area and saying that he is looking to push the agenda of the township economy, I beg your pardon, along with the MEC for Gauteng for Sports, Arts and Culture, Mbali Hlope, who will be speaking about the significance of the youth picking up the struggle in terms of the challenges they face today. COVID-19 has had a devastating impact in terms of economic development and activity right across South Africa. Boipatong has in recent years also been complaining in terms of the residents about poor service delivery, and also complaining about being a forgotten area. So what Premier David Makhura is coming to do is coming to speak about the district development model, which seeks to redefine the township economy with the youth at the center. The youth unemployment rate in South Africa is quite high, some estimates putting it at close to 50%. So what David Makhura, as well as the Sports and Arts and Culture MEC, as well as the District Mayor, will be bringing a message of development, a message of involvement, a message of reviving the youth economy and the township economy, and keeping the township buck circulating within the local area.
Mohlaoli, thanks very much indeed. Important story you're watching for us. Tumaole, live to us there from Boipatong.